Hey guys, I hope you're all doing well and welcome back to episode 2 of the F1 MyTeam career. This time we are racing around the streets of Vietnam and it was an interesting one, put it that way. But before we get to that, here's me sorting out the team activities for the week. Decide to help develop the second driver any way we can. There's lots of different stuff to do for this, so it takes a lot of fiddling around to try to get the most out of it. Always want to try and generate the money, but at the same time other things do require spending said money that you want to try save up, and got left with one day. Yep, the team has hit the next acclaim marker, so we can have a new sponsor. Always tricky trying to balance out which can happen in terms of the goal, how much you get for the goal, and then the weekly income, so which is the best value. Let's face it, Formula 1 is possibly the biggest money pit to ever exist, so you need as much money as possible, so we're going in with Zanetto. I do apologise that this is a bit quick flicking through everything, but I've sped up the time of the clip so we don't bore everyone to death. Here's the R&D tree. So in depth, a lot better than I expected it to ever be. Get some new parts on the car for the next race. They've proper gone in depth, haven't they? Look at this. All the animations and what they've done. And it's so tricky deciding what you actually want to invest your money in. But like I said, when it came to the weekly tasks, decided to really invest in the second driver to help his development. So it's 2 cars getting further to the front, not just the one. However, I did feel that the last one was way too easy and a new team shouldn't be that high up and that fast compared to the rest. What was it, qualifying in 13th or something, and then in the race we finished 9th and never really too worried. Just here applying the new sponsors to the car. That would confuse me for a moment, trying to figure out why they weren't actually appearing. But the car looks better with some sponsors on it. And it is quite nice how you can do all the degree of customization. Just flicking back through everything again, making sure I definitely want to go. And what you see, just flipped up the difficulty a bit. Try and make it a bit more authentic for me. And also a bit of a challenge because I do feel that was a bit easy and it's not worth doing. But here we are in practice 1. Now, remember in the last episode when I said I was having issues steering the car around tight corners, as you saw in Bahrain? I believe it was turn 9. It was a nightmare understeering into Ricardo. Those problems really came back here. Look at this, for example. Such a tight, narrow street circuit. And I've sped the clip up just so we're not getting bored again. But here we go. This is the worst corner by a million miles. Oh, 3-point turn, Austin Powers style. And off we go. Can't really be doing that in the race now, can we? I did so many things to try and figure out why the steering is so bad. So, went on YouTube. Also got a setup from the Racing League, TRL, on YouTube. As you can see, already messed up the track acclimatization before it even started. However, was able to pull this one back. The rest, though, not so much. The tyre program was a nightmare steering around these corners. I was pretty much stopping and also whacking the front wing. That really set the tone for the rest of the race weekend, so to speak. But anyway, oh yeah, we're on a racetrack. We're not going down there. No, no, no. Back on the racetrack. There you go. But anyway, as I was going to say, I actually found a really good YouTube video, and it says how much you can actually change the steering angle of the game in relation to the analog stick, because playing on a controller, it's a lot less precise than a steering wheel per se. However, it really did help. And then also found some other settings just by pure chance when I was messing about with it, trying everything and anything. And it's called steering saturation. It really, really helps being able to make the tighter corners, because yes, I just about made it that time. However, I did have to climb over the curb, pretty much stop. Bit embarrassing really when you're in Formula 1. Can't even get around a hairpin. But that was literally my last resort after trying all sorts of setups, like I say, from TRL and other places as well. That was pretty cool, racing with Boschung then, even though it was practice, and that also has to be the only time, I think, I made it around that hairpin properly before I found the controller settings that I was mentioning just. It didn't half get annoying in the end. But anyway, track acclimatization finished, and as I said earlier, the only one that actually worked. I simulated practice 2 and practice 3, I just couldn't be bothered with it. If it was doing that, I decided I wanted as little pain as possible. So here we go in qualifying. This lap I thought was going okay. Nope. Invalid. Lap 2, do exactly the same, yet all of a sudden it is valid and you can use that. So, damn track limits. And this footage is after I had actually managed to change my settings around, and it was just so much easier. I think you can see the fact that I'm able to steer, but that last corner in Hanoi is so annoying. I decided to go out for another run. I wasn't satisfied with P15, even though I'd put the difficulty up. I wanted to see just how far I could get this car up the grid. Not very far when you're doing that in the first corner. Look at that, losing 3-4 tenths of a second already. Never did properly figure out the lines on this track, and then, like I say, whacking me front wing. It really did set the tone. But anyway, I don't want to be moaning and whinging. Can't be nice for you guys to watch. So anyway, whilst we've got a bit of time, I'm going to personally say this. I'm quite glad they didn't actually race on this track. It's just too tight. I mean, it's stuff like that corner, it's too tight, and then just through here, it might look okay on the screens, as in the spectacle of the cars dashing through the corners, but in the end, as a track to race on, no. I do actually hope they don't bother with this track and just nip the idea in the bud. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Anyway, qualifying. Where did we get? P17 for me. Oh, P22 for Boschung. Well, I suppose you can only go forwards. Oh well, race date. There's a message. And the best bit out of this is that bottom line, there's a cookie in it for us if we beat Boschung by half a minute. I do like a cookie, so challenge accepted, you could say. A little bit of extra motivation. And just before we started the race, quickly dived into the settings again. Just turned the difficulty up a little bit more. Just to see how it goes, really. I've never actually gone above 80 before. So, I'm feeling quite proud of myself. But here we are on the grid. In those teal, purple, light blue t-shirts. I still stand by what I said. Early 2000s Sauber. Some of the best looking cars. Just having a quick look at the strategy. See what everyone else. Everyone other than the Williams is on the soft tyres. Everybody on the soft tyres. It'd be nice if we could also tell Boschung to start on the mediums. Because, spoiler alert, I just decided to do that. Medium tyres. Do the contrary. It's like a Formula 2 race in the feature race where some start on the softer tyres and then some start on the harder tyres and go deep and then tear through the field later on. So here we are on the grid. 1 red light, 2 red light, 3 red light, 4 red light, 5 red light. Quite the hold, and away we go. Very good start. That's a great initial traction. Past the 2 alphas already, and then just be a little bit late on the brakes into turn 1 round the outside of Kvyat. Was that Gasly? It was Gasly. Kvyat's just 2 in front. I was just seeing. And we got Norris and Ocon side by side. It's such a fiddly little track, this. And down to the back straight we go. Is it back straight, or would you say the bigger straight is the back straight? But down the straight anyway. Turn the engine up just to try to keep up. Don't want to let everyone get too far ahead. And bump into the back of Norris. Spoiler alert, that's not the last time I do that, unfortunately. They made a very strong front nose on the car. Bloody good job given how I was driving it this weekend, I'm afraid. So here we are, coming down the back straight. Flicking through all the options. Still getting used to that, so you're going to see a lot of that. And anyway, here comes Gasly. Launching it down the outside. I sent it up the inside. Hopefully grab Norris. Yep, just push him out wide. Well, not push him, but you get the idea. But Norris, soft tyres, out drags me with the grip. And then I just decide to concede. Don't want to cause a crash on lap 1. He says that as he starts looking at all sorts of weird driving angles there. Skipping forward. Mr. Gasly decides to have another go at me. No, sorry, Gasly's already ahead of me. That was Raikkonen actually, deciding to shove his car into my car for some reason. I didn't move across on him. I made sure not to move across on him, but no, not enough. Fair enough then. Anyway, Pierre is in front. We've got eyes forward. DRS. And try to catch him. Bit by bit anyway. That's one thing, you just saw it there. The AI, they're very weak at the midpoint of that hairpin, I noticed. So it was one point that I used to try and catch and stay close to the AI. AI, if I can get my words out properly. Also, let me know in the comments if you want me to have either longer races. Do you want me to turn the computer up even more? I personally do, because I feel like it is still a little bit too simple staying close to the midfield. I say that now, but literally the whole clump of them is just there. You can see on the minimap. So, again, and also if you've got any other comments, suggestions or queries, again, just drop them in the comments below. I'll get back to you, don't you worry about that. Just like I'm trying to get back to Pierre here. And a front wing tap there, I think. Before this tight fiddly section. It really is just unnecessary, and it's not very good for following other cars, as you can see the aero wash.
leading our teammate by 7.2 seconds. They're on old softs. They're in 19th. The time last lap was a 1 minute 44.8.
So skipping forward a lap or so, still close as ever to the back of Pierre Gasly's AlphaTauri, and the front cars have started to pit now. I believe it was Verstappen and Hamilton initially, but anyway, their tyres are dropping off. Mine are starting to exceed the performance. Yep, another front wing tap. Very, very strong front wing nose on my car, which I was very glad for. Just sprint down this straight, DRS open, getting closer, and then I decide, you know what, I've been threatening to do this, let's do it. Just nip up the inside here. However, what I forgot is that the DRS line must be somewhere along here, because in a few seconds time, you can see the arrow, here he comes. Yep, we've both got Honda engines. I get the feeling that theirs is a bit better than mine. Damn. But anyway, there's a bit of a traffic jam in front as well. And for a moment, I did think that arrow was another car. Here's Max Verstappen, who's already overtaken me. The 3 Honda engine teams on the grid. Verstappen looks at Gasly. I just nip round the outside, do a wall of death, as Martin Brundle would say, and then out accelerate past him. You might have just seen that there. 5-second penalty for speeding in the pits. I'm getting used to this. Like, getting used to the manual pit stops you can see here, and also the no pit limiter automatically done for you. Usually I used to have that just done for me with the computer doing it, but now I've decided to start doing it a lot more by myself because you can earn time. Anyway, the two AlphaTauris are into combat. Gasly versus Kvyat. Gasly does what I did to Verstappen on the outside and then just out accelerate past him. Very nice move there, Gasly. The AI can race against each other, but sometimes they can't close out overtaking moves. It's strange, but I suppose it is quite tricky to get a computer to replicate the human brain. As you can see here, I've got so much more pace and grip advantage with the soft tyres compared to his worn mediums. I can do that, which quickly becomes my favourite move. It's a bit like the Sakir Grand Prix of 2020 when you'd go outside of that one right-hander and then you'd have the high ground like George Russell did versus Valtteri Bottas. That was such a good move. But anyway, here we are, we're sizing up Pierre Gasly now. Again. I've been super glued to the back of his car and hoping to do to him what he did to Kvyat last lap. However, I thought I had the move made then. It didn't go as concrete as I thought, but got past with a little bit of argy-bargy. I think he would have moaned about that in real life. Well, most of them would anyway. It's Norris, our next target now. So I decided to get close to him, try to keep as close to him as possible. However, I kind of outbrake myself here, and look at that! One of those moves where you don't intend it, but the option's there. There's Leclerc as well. Sneak up the inside and mug him like I did to Gasly that time. Here's Ocon, on my favourite move around the outside and then up the inside to the penultimate corner. Really cutting my way through the midfield now. Sergio Perez is the next target. I think you can see what's going to happen. Just nip up the inside here and... oh no! Hit the back of Ricciardo's car. Not what I wanted to do. Once again, very glad for that very strong front nose on this car. Not so good turning the car, but it certainly stayed in one piece. Anyway, Perez has just flown past me. And then here comes Ocon. He decides he wants to overtake me. Perez locking up like mad. I cobble the curb, show Perez the wall, but I don't actually whack him into it. Just scare him so he comes out of the move. And fantastic. P9. before the 5-second penalty anyway. And there's a yellow flag behind. Didn't quite see what that was. Not too fussed at the moment because it's time to catch Stroll and Ricciardo. I think you already know what's coming next. There you go. Oh, nearly into the back of Ricciardo again. And just sent it down the inside. Make sure we don't go into the back of the racing point. And Lando Norris was the issue. Let's see what happened with Lando then. He's going along. Oh, misses the apex. Gets on the power, and that was a very strange crash, wasn't it? Very strange crash. But anyway, start of the last lap. Lance Stroll in front of me. P7. I want it. I want those points. So, what do? Mug him here. I definitely think the difficulty needs to go up. Just a little bit. I'm going to try 90 for the next race. Or do you want me to try 95 and just see what happens? Let me know in the comments below, folks. It was all going so smoothly until this happened. I thought I was well ahead. And I didn't think I needed to leave in room because I thought the move was made. Yeah. I do feel bad about that one. What do you guys think? You know where to leave your suggestions and comments. Ironically, in the comments section. But anyway, just coming through the last few corners now. Trying to eke out a gap because that 5-second penalty. See if we can have a point. That's not going to help going wide like that. And who's that in front? Sainz, P6, just up the road. Coming around the last corner. This last corner is so deceptive because that wall there just comes out of nowhere. But yeah, P7 on the track, and where does that finish? P11. P11. So close. And to add insult to injury, they don't even have my picture for the driver of the day. Damn it. Thank you, Fanzo.
Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out there.
Hopefully one day that'll be our team. We're a bit away from that at the moment. Work in progress.
Shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it. Let's have a quick look at how the driver standings have changed. Valtteri Bottas passes
So close to the points. So near, but yet so far.
Great work out there today. Let's have your thoughts. You were cutting your way through the field during the race.
I do think these options are a little bit limited. Still think that now, but you know, contrary strategy. They didn't have the grip, we did. You're breaking all expectations. I think the difficulty needs to go up.
Do you have any comments about the collisions?
I thought I was ahead. All I'm going to say, Stroll probably should have backed out a bit. But at the same time, maybe I should have left him a bit of room. It's one of them things.
Appreciate your time.
Again, the options don't really reflect that. But anyway, just to round out this episode, here's the acclaim going up. Ralph's acclaim is up as well, and the teams is rising. If you have enjoyed this video, do please leave a like on it. It'll help it be seen in the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.